Today on Uniquely Human, the podcast, we have a very special episode. Dave will not be joining us today due to previous commitments. So let's go ahead.
The primary purpose of Uniquely Human, the podcast, is to educate and inform. The views expressed during all episodes are solely those of the individuals involved and do not constitute educational or medical advice. Listeners should consult with professionals familiar with each individual or family for specific guidance.
Music is graciously provided by Matt Savage of Savage Records.
Hi, I'm Dr. Barry Prezant, clinical scholar, researcher, and consultant on autism and neurodiversity, and a Brooklyn boy raised in the big city.
And I'm Dave. I'm none of those things, and I grew up on a farm in Illinois. But being on the spectrum myself, I have plenty of personal insight to lend.
And this is Uniquely Human, the podcast, a show that illuminates and celebrates autism and neurodiversity. A few years ago, I received an email from Brazil. And this led to a relationship over the last year and a half to 2 years with a gentleman who I have learned a great deal from and who has benefited also from our work. So let me take you back to the beginning. And this is an email that I received almost 2 years ago. Dear Barry Prezant, my name is Saulo Barbosa Santiago, a Brazilian and an autistic person. I read your book, Uniquely Human, and it evoked many emotions. In chapter 4, in the section, open quote, helping children overcome their fears, close quote, I was touched by your discussion on the need for police to understand autism. As a police officer myself, I have developed a method that helps police officers recognize neurodivergent individuals and also conduct a safe approach. I have been traveling to many cities in my country sharing this idea with other police departments, and it has been very effective. I started this work after reading your book, and I am very grateful. This initial outreach to me has led to an ongoing relationship that really is culminating in this podcast today. I felt that so many people needed to hear what Saulo was saying based upon his personal experience and also the incredible things that he has done over the last year and a half. So before we get started, I would like to tell you a little bit about Saulo. Saulo Barbosa is a Brazilian 43-year-old police officer with 14 years of experience in the field. He's also autistic, ADHD, and gifted, and is dedicated to bridging the gap between public safety and neurodiversity. He holds a degree in philosophy and has completed 2 specializations, one in education and another in public safety. In addition to his police work, he is a psychology student and an instructor who travels across Brazil training law enforcement agencies on how to interact with neurodivergent individuals with understanding and compassion. Saulo is not fully fluent in English, so he had a colleague of his do some of the translations. So at first, you will hear Saulo's response to my questions in his own voice, and then we've edited out some of the consecutive translation so you can get the essence of his messages. Saulo, it is such a pleasure to have you on Uniquely Human, the podcast. So welcome.
Well, thank you very much. I need you. I help you.
Yes. Yeah, you'll be very helpful to us, actually. So if you could tell us a little bit about your personal and your professional journey and how that led you to police work that you do.
Ele está perguntando sobre.
Sua jornada e como você foi para a polícia.
Yes. I am talking Portuguese. I'm my friend translator, right?
Yes.
Meu nome é Saulo Barbosa, tenho 43 anos, Sou uma pessoa autista com TDAH e superdotação. Sou policial há 14 anos. Minha infância foi muito difícil, marcada por muitos abusos, né, e falta de compreensão. O meu próprio pai é, se recusou a me registrar porque tinha vergonha das minhas dificuldades. Entrei para a polícia porque o processo de seleção era baseado em testes objetivos, não em entrevistas sociais, onde eu sempre falhava por ser diferente. Na polícia, finalmente encontrei um lugar onde ser diferente não é crime.
My name is Saulo Barbosa. I'm 43 years old. I'm autistic, ADHD, and gifted. I have been a police officer for 14 years. My childhood was very difficult, marked by abuse and lack of understanding. My own father refused to register me because he was ashamed of my struggles, my condition. I joined the police because the selection process was based on objective tests, not social interviews, where I always failed for being different. In the police, I finally found a place where being different was not a crime.
Very interesting. So that being in the police was a very, very good fit for what you're good at, and also helps you avoid maybe some more of the difficult social situations.
In the police, I found myself free to be who I was
Mm-hmm.
and do what I wanted to do. And now I'm national. I'm known in the whole Brazil by doing what I like.
Mm-hmm. That's so important. Great. So you mentioned to me that reading the book Uniquely Human made a big difference in your life. Could you tell me a little bit more about how that happened?
In 2024, my psychoanalyst gave me your book. When I reached chapter 4, where you mention that police officers often know nothing about autism. It was a wake-up call. I realized that my entire life as an autistic officer had prepared me for a mission. That page changed my life. It gave me a sense of urgency to act.
Makes me feel so good. Excellent. So, how did reading Uniquely Human change your approach in your police work, and especially for how you try to help neurodivergent people and help other police officers have a better understanding?
In the streets, many officers see lack of eye contact or nervous laughter as suspicious behavior or disrespect. But I realized, oh, I have those same behaviors. After reading your book, I got it. I understand this is not weird behavior. It is uniquely human. With the help of my friend Dennis DeBolt, I started teaching my colleagues how to identify signs of neurodivergence instead of reacting with force.
So important. So, what do you do in supporting and training your colleagues who are policemen or in law enforcement in general?
I showed my colleagues that many arrests for disobedience were actually cases of sensory or emotional dysregulation. At first, of course, there was resistance. But when they saw that being calm and patient made their job safer, they trusted me. Now I focus on teaching them that behavior is communication. I act out the signs like hand flapping or rocking so they can recognize them in real life. 90% of them have never heard of neurodivergence before my training.
Mhm. So, you are teaching them about neurodivergence and neurodiversity in general, but you're also teaching them skills to better treat autistic people.
Yeah, 30% of my job is theory. So I teach them about neurodivergence, about autistic, but 70% I practice with them. I scream a lot, I act a lot, I show them how it is. And as an autistic person, I can do this and I can show them the difficulty that neurodivergent people struggle.
You,
And it's improved a lot. Yes. Now it is much better in the police force.
hmm, you must be a very good actor.
Yes.
uh, um, and you're also getting a degree in psychology. Uh, why did you decide to do that? Why was that important?
My past experiences with psychology were very negative because they focused on fixing me. Your book showed me a different way. I want to be a psychologist that I never had. I want to help others or other misunderstood neurodivergent people to find their voice.
Hmm, excellent. So, you have shared with me in some emails that your whole outlook and your life has changed because you feel you have a very important mission and a purpose to help others. Could you talk about that a little bit?
Before this work, I had no plans for the future. My plans was just to grow old and die. And now I travel across Brazil, training thousands of officers for free, and I'm saving lives. I used to be afraid of speaking to people, speak in public. But when I speak about neurodiversity, the fear disappears. There is a Saulo before and a Saulo after your book.
Congratulations. That's so wonderful. Right.
Tem.
Any other thing that you would like to share? Any other questions that people often ask you? And just to educate our listeners about what your experience has been.
Autistic people, they need to speak to others, to other autistic people. They need to try to fit in, and that makes life easier for them. I think that will help a lot, and communication is the key for that.
Mm-hmm. I do have one more question. What do you think the greatest misunderstanding is about autistic people that you try to change?
I think that people try to change the autistic people, and that's not the way. They try to fix them, and that's not the way. They need to be who they want to be, and that's the way of living.
Yes. Yeah. That was beautifully stated. Beautiful. Great.
Thank you.
Saulo also let me know that he felt somewhat nervous during the podcast interview, but that he had a lot more information to share. So I posed some additional questions for him, and he answered them in great detail. And I'd like to share that with you now so you can get more of a sense of what he has done and why he has done it. I asked Saulo, did you feel misunderstood when you were younger? How did that feel and what did it look like? What do you think people thought of you when you were younger and before you were diagnosed? And he responded, my youth was a gauntlet of misunderstanding. I attended 8 different schools due to behavioral issues and academic failure. I survived years of sexual, psychological, and physical abuse, both at home and in the community. My communication style and behavior made me an easy target for relentless bullying. I was mocked with nicknames like Forrest Gump and Bob. Because of sensory overwhelm and neglect, my personal hygiene suffered, leading to further social ostracization. Before my diagnosis, the consensus was that I would never become a functional adult, provided I survived my own violent reactions to the constant gaslighting I endured. I then asked, you mentioned that a few police officers who have come to your trainings later were diagnosed with autism. Can you tell me more about that? Do you believe it would be helpful to have a regular community of police officers and first responders who are neurodivergent to work together to build better practices? And Saulo responded, having trained hundreds of officers across several Brazilian states, I focus heavily on identifying, quote, signs of neurodivergence, close quote, such as challenges in eye contact, social emotional lability, sensory sensitivities, and literal language. This often acts as a mirror for the officers. Many have contacted me privately, recognizing themselves in my descriptions. I always advise them to seek clinical evaluation. So far, at least 3 have confirmed an autism diagnosis. My mission is to ensure that public safety and neurodiversity become a mandatory subject in police training, fostering a community where neurodivergent officers are not only accepted, but recognized as vital assets to the force. I then asked him, what have been the most satisfying parts of your work? Saulo responded, first, debunking dangerous misinformation, helping officers understand that neurodivergence is an innate neurological difference, not a disease or a result of vaccines. Second, seeing the shift in perspective where they realize that, quote, behavior is communication, as I learned from your book. When they apply patience and specific techniques, they can de-escalate situations effectively. Third, observing the tangible results. In jurisdictions where officers have undergone my training, the rates of violence during encounters with neurodivergent individuals have decreased significantly. I then asked, Saulo, what do you hope to do with your psychology degree? He responded, I intend to practice as a psychologist, specializing in neurodivergent adults who have faced the same systemic failures I did in education, employment, and social life. My goal is to show them that they do not need to change to fit a broken mold. Instead, I want to help them embrace self-acceptance and find environments that respect their humanity. And then finally, I asked Saulo, what is the most important message you have for police and other first responders about interacting with neurodivergent people? He responded, public safety institutions must implement practical, in-person training on how to approach individuals showing signs of neurodivergence. When an officer understands the intersection of public safety and neurodiversity, lives are saved. Intelligence, empathy, and respect for human rights are not signs of weakness. They are the hallmarks of an honorable and effective security force. Saulo also shared that his philosophy and understanding of autism and neurodivergence which was triggered to a great extent by his personal experience, as well as by my book, Uniquely Human. But he also benefited from contact with Dennis Dubois, who I kind of connected him to, who for 40 years has been involved in the United States with first responder training. And I want to thank you and congratulations. I'm proud that you found my book to be helpful. What you're doing is just such a blessing to other people.
Ter encontrado o livro, o que você está fazendo é maravilhoso para as pessoas.
Thank you.
So congratulations, and I hope to come to Brazil and meet you. I was in Sao Paulo 2-3 years ago.
Ele teve São Paulo
Há
2-3 anos.
Sim,
Yeah. So I hope I could come again and have a chance to meet you and learn from what you're doing.
É de conhecer você e aprender o que você está fazendo.
Thank
ok.
you. Obrigado.
Português, eu traduzo. Quer
Ah,
falar alguma coisa em português?
bom, eu tenho como objetivo da minha vida ir até aí, conhecer o senhor, né? É, e- I'm cry.
It's okay.
Agradecer ao senhor e mostrar para minha filha que o pai dela tem uma missão de vida, que é ajudar pessoas.
Okay, I have a goal to go there and meet you, uh, and to thank you in person, that what you did, and I want to show my daughter that she has a father that she can be proud of,
Mhm.
and that he's doing something great to help the others.
Yes, that would be wonderful. Wonderful. Great. Saulo, thank you so much.
Thank you.